I thought being honest would save my marriage. Instead, it destroyed it. From the outside, we looked like the perfect couple. We met when we were just kids, really, college sweethearts who stumbled into each other's lives during a campus event. I remember the way he laughed at my terrible jokes, how his hand brushed mine like it was always meant to be there. It felt like the kind of love people write novels about, effortless, consuming, safe. By the time we were in our mid-20s, we had built what everyone around us called a dream life, a cozy home, stable jobs, a marriage built on trust. At least, that's what it looked like. Inside, though, I was fighting a battle no one could see. I loved him, God, I loved him, but there was a restlessness in me I couldn't quiet. At first, I ignored it. I told myself it was just the stress of adulthood, the monotony of routine. But as the years passed, it grew louder, whispering to me in the quiet moments, reminding me that something about the life I had chosen didn't fit me as perfectly as it should have. I felt like I was playing a role I didn't audition for, the loyal, monogamous wife who never questions, never craves more. Everyone admired me for it, but I knew I was lying, to them, to him, and most of all, to myself. The cracks showed in little ways. At parties, I'd find myself flirting without even realizing it, just a glance too long, a laugh too soft, a hand that lingered a moment too close. I never crossed the line, but I could feel it burning beneath my feet, daring me to. When my phone buzzed with messages from old friends or colleagues, I'd feel a thrill I couldn't explain. And every time, I'd bury the guilt deeper, telling myself, this is normal. Everyone feels like this sometimes. But deep down, I knew it wasn't normal for me. Deep down, I knew my version of love didn't fit into the neat, clean box of forever and only one person. And the weight of hiding that truth started suffocating me. I thought honesty would free me. I thought if I just admitted what I felt, my fears, my cravings, my inability to promise forever in the way he wanted, maybe we could find a way forward together. Maybe love would be enough to carry us through. But I was wrong. One night, I finally said the words that had been haunting me for years, and nothing was ever the same again. My husband, let's call him Daniel, was the kind of man most women dream of marrying. Loyal to his core, dependable in every sense of the word, the type of partner who showed up for you whether it was a broken-down car on the side of the road or a broken heart at 3 a.m. He believed in love the way our parents' generation did, one person, one promise, one forever. And for a long time, I thought I believed in that too. We had so many good years together, memories that still make me ache when I think about them. Sunday mornings spent tangled in bed with coffee and laughter. Road trips with the windows down, his hand reaching for mine on the gearshift like second nature. Even the ordinary moments, cooking dinner side by side, grocery shopping, arguing about which Netflix show to binge, felt golden, like we were living inside the kind of love story people envied. That was the thing about us. To everyone else, our bond seemed unbreakable. And maybe a part of me wanted to believe it too. But beneath all of that perfection was a restlessness I couldn't silence. It wasn't that I didn't love him, I did, with every piece of my heart. It was that my heart wanted more than it should. Not more from him, but more in addition to him. It sounds selfish, doesn't it? And maybe it was. I used to lie awake at night, watching his steady breathing beside me, wondering what was wrong with me. Why couldn't I just be satisfied? Why did the idea of forever with one person feel both comforting and terrifying at the same time? Some nights, the guilt was so heavy it made my chest ache. Other nights, I caught myself fantasizing about what it would feel like to be free of that guilt entirely, what it would feel like to give in to the desires I kept locked away. I hated myself for even thinking it. Daniel had given me everything, his love, his loyalty, his future. And yet, some part of me kept craving excitement, the rush of something new, something forbidden. That was my prison, loving my husband with all my heart while secretly longing for a kind of love I knew he could never accept. Every time I looked at him, I thought, if he knew the real me, would he still love me? The answer, though I couldn't admit it yet, was already written between us like cracks spreading across glass, waiting for the moment when one wrong word would make everything shatter. It happened on a night that should have been ordinary. No big fight, no earth-shattering event, just one of those evenings where we sat across from each other, the silence between us heavier than usual. Daniel had been asking more questions lately. Why did I seem distracted? Why did I pull away when he reached for me? Why did I always look like my mind was somewhere else? At first, I gave him the safe answers. I'm tired from work. I've just got a lot on my mind. But that night, something in me snapped. Maybe it was the way he looked at me, his eyes searching for the truth I kept buried. Maybe it was the exhaustion of living a double life inside my own head. Either way, the words spilled out before I could stop them. I don't think I can stay monogamous forever. The silence that followed was deafening. Daniel froze, his fork halfway to his mouth, eyes wide with disbelief. For a second, I thought he hadn't heard me. But then, slowly, he set the fork down, his hands trembling. What did you just say? His voice cracked, and I hated myself instantly. I tried to soften it, to explain. I love you, Daniel. I swear I do. But I can't keep pretending that I don't feel this restlessness inside me. I've tried to bury it, but, so what? His voice rose, sharp and cutting. So I was just a placeholder for you until you got bored. Was our marriage just some warm-up act until you could chase whoever you really wanted? Tears burned my eyes. No. That's not what I mean. You're everything to me. But I can't change who I am. I can't change the fact that part of me doesn't fit into this box of forever and only you. I don't want to hurt you, but hiding it is killing me. His face twisted in pain, then anger. Do you hear yourself? You're basically telling me our vows meant nothing to you. That I meant nothing. That's not true. I pleaded. You mean everything. But my feelings, my nature, they're real too. I thought if I was honest, maybe we could find a way forward together. He pushed his chair back so hard it screeched against the floor. His eyes glistened, but his jaw was steel. No. I can't live like this. I can't trust you. Not anymore. And just like that, he stormed out, leaving me alone with the echo of my own confession. That was the first shattered piece of our marriage, the moment everything cracked open, and I knew deep down, nothing would ever be the same again. The hours after Daniel stormed out felt endless. I sat on the living room floor, replaying the words over and over, wishing I could snatch them back, wishing I had found a gentler way to tell the truth. By the time he came home, sometime after midnight, I was a wreck, tear-stained face, swollen eyes, rehearsing apologies that sounded hollow even to me. I didn't mean it the way it came out, I whispered as he walked past me. He didn't stop. He didn't even look at me. He just went straight to the guest room and shut the door. That became the new rhythm of our life. Every night after work, he disappeared behind that door. No goodnight kisses, no warmth, not even the small touches we used to take for granted. Our bed felt like a graveyard of what once was. I was an unfaithful woman who couldn't keep her vows, a heartless wife who looked her husband in the eye and basically said he wasn't enough. And maybe that's how it sounded. Maybe that's what people wanted to hear, his side, simple and tragic. He was the victim, I was the villain. The whispers grew louder. Invitations stopped coming. Friends stopped calling. Even at work, I felt eyes on me, pitying or condemning, it didn't matter which, because both burned just the same. The final blow came a month later when Daniel handed me divorce papers. My hands shook as I read them, the words blurring through tears. He had cited irreconcilable differences, but I knew the truth. My own words had given him the weapon he needed. When I confronted him, his face was cold, detached, like I was already a stranger. "You admitted you'll never be faithful," he said flatly. "What's left for me here? What future do we have if the foundation is already broken?" I was the wife who admitted she couldn't stay faithful, the woman who broke her husband's heart and didn't even have the decency to hide it. What shocked me most was how quickly relief turned to regret. For years, I had carried this secret like a stone in my chest, believing that honesty would set me free. Instead, it chained me to consequences I wasn't ready to face. One night, as he brushed past me in the hallway, he finally spoke. His voice was flat, almost lifeless. "I don't think I can live like this anymore." And just like that, the air around me froze. His words weren't a threat, they were a warning. A warning that the life we had built was unraveling faster than I could hold it together. At first, I thought the worst part was the silence. The distance. The way Daniel slipped further and further out of reach each day. But I was wrong. Silence, I would learn, is kinder than betrayal. Because it wasn't long before my private confession stopped being private. It started small, strange glances at the grocery store from people we both knew. A coworker, who I'd always been friendly with, suddenly avoiding me in the break room. Then, a mutual friend accidentally let something slip over coffee. "Daniel's been going through so much, he told us what you said." "I'm so sorry." My stomach dropped. At first, I told myself maybe he only confided in one or two close friends, the kind of people he could trust. But as the days went on, the circle widened. His sister sent me a text dripping with judgment. "How could you do that to him after everything he gave you?" Even my own friends seemed colder, more distant, as if they'd been poisoned against me. And then, the ultimate humiliation. At a work event, one of Daniel's colleagues pulled me aside and said in a low voice, "I hope you figure things out. People make mistakes." That was when I knew. He hadn't just told family. He hadn't just told close friends. He was telling everyone. In his version of the story, I wasn't a wife who wrestled with honesty and vulnerability. I would stand in the hallway sometimes, my hand hovering over the doorknob, desperate to go in, to make him understand. But I never did. The silence between us had grown too sharp. I tried everything to fix it. I apologized until the words lost meaning. I begged him to talk to me, to shout at me, anything but this cold indifference. "I was honest because I love you," I told him once, voice shaking. His only response was a bitter laugh, followed by, "You call that love?" And then, slowly, I realized he wasn't just shutting me out, he was letting other people in. His sister stopped calling me. Our mutual friends grew distant. At a family dinner, his mother's disapproving stare felt like a dagger. It didn't take long for me to piece it together. He had started confiding in them. He was telling everyone what I had said, twisting my confession into a scarlet letter I couldn't take off. The humiliation was suffocating. I hadn't cheated, but in their eyes, I may as well have. I wanted to scream that I hadn't cheated, that I hadn't betrayed him in action, only in a confession I thought was honesty. But the truth is, sometimes words cut deeper than actions. And mine had cut our marriage at the root. That night, lying in the bed that no longer felt like mine, I replayed it all in my head. Had I been brave, or had I been selfish? Was honesty still noble when it left destruction in its wake? Or had I only spoken up to ease my own guilt, never considering the scars it would carve into him? The answer wasn't simple. Maybe it was both. Maybe my truth deserved to be spoken, but maybe it also deserved to be handled with care, with patience, not blurted out in a moment of frustration. But it was too late to wonder now. The man I loved was gone, the life we built was crumbling, and in the eyes of everyone around us, I was branded, not for what I had done, but for what I had admitted I might do. In the end, I hadn't just lost my marriage. I had lost my reputation. My safety net. The story of us had been rewritten, and I was the villain in a play I never meant to star in. And the cruelest part, I was the one who had handed him the script. Looking back now, I realized the truth didn't have to destroy us the way it did. What destroyed us wasn't honesty itself, it was how I delivered it. I had carried my restlessness for years like a silent poison, and instead of facing it earlier, I dropped it on him like a bomb. No preparation, no compassion, no care for the wreckage it would leave behind. I thought I was being brave. I thought speaking the words out loud meant I was finally free. But what I didn't see was how much it would cost him. To Daniel, my confession wasn't about restlessness or identity, it was about rejection. In one sentence, I made him feel like he was never enough. And no one deserves to feel that way, least of all someone who gave you his whole heart. That's the part one regret most. Not that I told the truth, but that I told it without thinking about how it would land. Timing and compassion could have softened the blow. Patience might have opened the door to a conversation instead of slamming it shut with devastation. But instead, I handed him the truth like a dagger, and he used it to cut us both apart. And yet, as much as I hurt him, he hurt me too. Because he didn't just walk away, he dragged my truth into the light for everyone to see, twisted it into a story where I was the villain. I didn't deserve to be exposed like that, just as he didn't deserve the pain I gave him. We both punished each other in different ways, and in the end, we both lost everything. The lesson I carry now is simple but heavy: honesty matters, but timing and compassion matter more. Truth without care is just another kind of betrayal. If I had faced myself earlier, maybe I could have spared him the humiliation. If he had faced me instead of the world, maybe he could have spared me the shame. But that's not the story we lived. The story we lived is one where love couldn't survive truth. One where a confession meant to bring us closer drove us to opposite sides of a war neither of us won. One where silence might have hurt less than honesty ever did. So here I am, standing in the ruins of what once felt unbreakable, asking myself the question I now leave with you: if the person you loved told you they couldn't stay monogamous, would you try to understand, or would you walk away?